Bob Stevenson, and I'm a volunteer with the Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse, both with the public tour program and with the preservation program. The Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse is unique in that it is the last screw pile cottage-style lighthouse in the United States that's still in place where it was built, which was in 1875, and active as an aid to navigation. It is a National Historic Landmark, which is the highest level of historic recognition that can be awarded. So it is a very important lighthouse, historically speaking. I've seen the pictures of the lighthouse everywhere, in advertising all over town, in art forms. By the way, my wife and I live 3 miles from the lighthouse, and so we can see it from our house. And when we go sailing, we like to go out and sail around it. And like so many other people, sailing around it just wasn't enough. And so when I had the opportunity to get aboard and really participate with what's inside that lighthouse, I got hooked. What can I tell you? A screw pile lighthouse is unique in that it is a cottage sitting on a platform supported by pilings, iron poles that are screwed into the bottom of the bay. It is a hexagonal structure. It has 4 rooms on the first level, and it has 1 room on the second level which goes all the way around, and then at the very top is the beacon. You'll recognize it when you see it because it's a white cottage with a bright red roof and 6 dormer windows. It's the only one on the bay, by the way, that had 6 windows, which I think makes it visually much more attractive than many of the others. Now that we're standing at the front door, we get to see what I think is the best view on the bay. As you cast your eye around here, you can see the eastern shore, Cat Island over there. Up to the north, you see the Bay Bridge. Way over here on the western shore, you can see where Annapolis is. And it's a fabulous view. I think it's the sights, the sound. You can hear the waves coming against the rocks. When the weather's a little stronger and the waves are a little higher, it gets to be more exciting. In 1877, the second winter of the lighthouse was here, heavy ice came down the bay, hit the structure, shook it up so much that it knocked the lantern over up top and broke it. And so the first solution to that problem was to put that triangular icebreaker designed to split the ice flows and have them go around the lighthouse. It helped, but it was not sufficient. So in the 1880s, they started bringing out large rocks called riprap and adding them to the piling on the north and the piling on the south. As a National Historic Landmark, it can't be preserved with modern materials and techniques. It has to be preserved with historically accurate materials. I am not by any means a skilled carpenter, but what happened when I started to work, I really began to appreciate the material that we were working with. The original Georgia pine that would be brought out into the bay and stand for 100 years and more, guiding ships up and down the bay. And Captain Howard and his wife Kathy rebuilt the railings all the way around both levels of the lighthouse. And these parts of the railing here are a pattern that is historically almost unique. You will find 1 or 2 other railings in the Annapolis area with a pattern similar to this. So these all had to be custom cut, custom profiled, custom cut out, preserved, painted, and installed. And so it's very, very important, and people get very excited about accomplishing these sometimes very challenging tasks of bringing that lighthouse to a condition where it will continue to stand for another 100 and some years. I think every volunteer who works on this lighthouse and other lighthouses have their own stories and connections. I do think it's important to transfer this sense of history from generation to generation. Our children and grandchildren and others in the future come to understand and appreciate the history and the traditions of our local areas, our local structures. The more they will be willing to preserve those stories and pass them along. Again, it's where did we come from? If we don't know that, how can we possibly have a sense of where we're going?